Hi Reddit. I'm Sarah, 26, and last year I nearly died in a car accident. Not exaggerating. Head-on collision, broken ribs, fractured hip, concussion, internal bleeding. I was in the hospital for weeks, then months of physical therapy. Walking again was a miracle. Standing without pain took another 6. Want to guess who didn't show up? My family. No calls. No texts. Not even AF ****ing. Are you okay? I called. Left voicemails. My mom didn't answer. My sister read my message and left me on scene. My brother sent a thumbs up emoji once. That was it. You'd think I was a monster, or that I burned every bridge in the family. But I didn't. I was the responsible one. The peacemaker. The one who remembered birthdays and babysat and loaned money when rent was due. Apparently, none of that counts when you're lying in a hospital bed with tubes in your arms. After 2 months in rehab, I went home alone. No welcome back. No lasagna for mom. No awkward visit for my sister. Just silence. I cried one night, I won't lie. Not because I was sad, but because I finally understood I was only valuable when they needed something. And now that I was broken, I was useless. So I stopped reaching out. I healed. Slowly. I started walking again. Got stronger. Built routines. Learned to cook one-handed. Went to therapy. Physically and emotionally. By month 6, I was back at work. Not 100%, but enough. And that's when the texts started. First one was from my sister. Hey, haven't talked in a bit. Hope you're okay. Smiley face. I didn't answer. 2 days later. So I hate to ask, but could you watch Emily Saturday? Just for a few hours. You're so good with her, and we're kind of stuck. I stared at the screen for 10 full minutes. This was her first contact since before the accident. No, I'm sorry. No, are you okay? Just straight to, can you do me a favor? I didn't respond. The next day, mom called. First time in over 8 months. I let go to voicemail. Sarah, sweetie, I heard you're back on your feet. That's amazing. Listen, we're all going to Uncle Ron's for the weekend, and your sister could really use a hand. Call me, okay? I sat there shaking. Not from sadness. From rage. They had erased me when I was at my lowest. Now they wanted me back, because I could walk, talk, and babysit. And in that moment, I decided, if I was dead to them back then, they don't get to resurrect me now. I ended up calling my mom back 2 days later. Not because I wanted to, because I needed to hear what Bull's ***T she'd lead with. She answered like we talked yesterday. Hi, honey. I was just thinking about you, right? For the first time in 8 months. I didn't play nice. Where have you been? She laughed awkwardly. Oh, you know how life gets. I was hospitalized. You knew that. Well, I thought you needed space. I couldn't walk. You didn't sound like you wanted visitors when I texted. You never texted. Silence. She didn't deny it. She just pivoted. Anyway, your sister said you might be free this weekend? She and Rick really need help. Unbelievable. What? The first thing you say to me in nearly a year is about babysitting. Don't be dramatic. That word. Dramatic. They always pulled that card when I had feelings they didn't want to deal with. I hung up. No goodbye. No apology. An hour later, my sister texted. Mom said you're being rude. I know you've been through a lot, but you don't need to take it out on us. I didn't respond. She followed up. It's just babysitting. You used to love it. Yeah, I used to love a lot of things, like thinking I had a family. That Saturday I stayed in, ordered Thai food, watched a movie, turned off my phone. Next morning, I woke up to 11 missed messages. 2 from my mom. I'm worried about your mental state. You're isolating again. That's not healthy. 3 from my sister. You ruined our plans. Rick had to call off work. You're selfish. And 1 from my brother, who hadn't said a word to me in almost a year. Grow up. Family helps family. I almost laughed. Where was that energy when I was on morphine and couldn't wipe myself? The thing is, I wasn't trying to be petty. I just finally understood the rules. They only cared when I was useful. And now that I wasn't immediately jumping to be the reliable one, I was suddenly broken, dramatic, cold. Fine. Let them talk. Let them sit in a group chat and complain about how I changed. Because I had. And the old version of me, the one who dropped everything, stayed late, said yes to everything, she didn't survive that accident. They showed up on a Thursday. I work remotely, so I was home, headphones and laptop open, coffee half drunk and going cold. There was a knock on the door. Then 2 more. I paused my call and checked the peephole. My sister. She was standing there with a neutral face, phone in one hand, car keys in the other, like she was just popping by for brunch. I didn't open it. She knocked again. Sarah, I know you're in there. I saw your car. No response. I moved back to the couch. She kept knocking. A little louder. Okay, seriously. This is childish. Still nothing. You're being insane. You could have just said no nicely. But instead you ghosted all of us like we're strangers. Oh, the irony. She paused. Then her voice changed. Louder. Sharper. It was one accident, Sarah. It's not like you died. You act like we abandoned you. But you shut down. You didn't answer either. Lies. I still had screenshots of the texts I sent. Voicemails I left. A full month of reaching out. Unanswered. Ignored. And now you're punishing us. Over what? Because no one sat in the hospital and held your hand every minute. That's when I knew. She didn't come to apologize. She came to rewrite the story. I walked to the door, not to open it, just to get closer. To hear every word clearly. Rick and I had plans that night. We couldn't just cancel for you. It was bad timing, okay? Unreal. You always act like you're the strong one. The fixer. But you break once, and suddenly we're the villains. I wanted to scream. I wanted to rip open the door and tell her she didn't get to play the victim in my trauma. But I didn't. I waited. She finally stopped talking and stood there a moment longer. Then I heard her walk away. 10 minutes later, I got a text. You're acting like a bitch. Don't expect us to come around again. I sat down. Calm. No tears. Just clarity. They weren't confused. They weren't unaware of what they did. They just didn't think I'd remember. They thought I'd take whatever scraps they tossed at me and be grateful they came back at all. But I didn't want them back. It started with a DM from my cousin Jake. Haven't seen him since my college graduation. Didn't even get well soon after the accident. Hey, heard there's some drama. Just wanted to say, I hope you and your fam patch things up. Life's short. Patch things up. I almost laughed. Then came a call from Aunt Lisa. She never calls. Not for birthdays. Not for holidays. But now she had time. Sweetie, I know things got heated, but you can't stay mad at your mom forever. She ignored me while I was in a hospital bed. She's not perfect, but she's your mother. Exactly. And she acted like I didn't exist. She was overwhelmed. People grieve in different ways. No one died. Aunt Lisa. I just almost did. She got quiet. Then she hit me with a classic. At the end of the day, she's still your blood. That phrase. I swear I'll have it carved on a punching bag someday. Then came the guilt messages. One from a second cousin I haven't spoken to since 2015. I think you're blowing this out of proportion. They're trying. And another from some family friend. I don't know the whole story, but shutting people out never ends well. Right. Everyone suddenly had opinions. Now that I was walking, talking, and could potentially hold their kids again. No one cared about my side. Just that I was disturbing the family ecosystem. I was the one breaking the illusion. They were used to the old me. The helper. The peacekeeper. The fixer. They had no clue who this new version was. The one who wasn't afraid to say no. I didn't owe them silence. Or kindness. Or access. So I posted on my private story. Only for family. It said, funny how none of you showed up when I was broken. But now that I'm useful again, everyone's got something to say. I'm not the villain here. I just finally learned to stop bleeding for people who wouldn't give me a band-aid. I didn't wait for replies. Didn't read them either. Because here's what I realized. When they say, but they're family, what they really mean is, let them hurt you again, so we don't have to feel bad. A few days after I posted that story, the group chats went quiet. No more guilt texts. No, just checking in calls. They backed off, or so I thought. Until Friday. That's when my brother texted me. Coming by this weekend. We need to talk. Not, can I come by? Not, are you free? Just, coming. Like I was a damn motel, and he had a key. I didn't reply. 3 hours later, my sister texted. Don't freak out. We just want to talk. That confirmed it. They were planning to show up together. Like some kind of intervention. Saturday morning, I locked the gate. I don't live in a fortress, but I've got a decent security system and a very alert neighbor named Rita who waters her lawn with binoculars. They came anyway. 11:12 a.m. 2 cars. For people, my brother, sister, mom, and her boyfriend, the one who always called me kid like I was 5. They walked right up to the door like it was 2009. I didn't answer. I stood behind a curtain and watched them knock, then pound, then call out my name like I was locked inside, throwing a tantrum. Sarah, this is ridiculous. You can't keep acting like you're the only one who got hurt. We're trying. They tried for 2 minutes. Then they started yelling about how therapy poisoned me and how boundaries are just trendy excuses to be cruel. That's when I hit the button. Security cam footage, already recording. Rita, bless her nosy heart, was already on the phone with a non-emergency line. They left before the cops came, but I saved the footage, sent a copy to my lawyer. Yes, I have one now. Because guess what? Setting boundaries is one thing. Enforcing them is another. He helped me draft a no-contact letter. Not a restraining order. Not yet. Just formal notice. Show up again, and you'll hear from more than a locked door. I sent it to each of them by email and certified mail. My sister replied, "Wow, dramatic." My brother sent me a middle finger emoji. Classy. But my mom, she didn't reply. She waited 4 days, then sent one message. "I don't even recognize you anymore." And I just stared at it, because that was the point. They weren't supposed to recognize me. The old Sarah is gone. This one, she doesn't answer the door when you've been gone too long to knock. The call came at 8:41 p.m. on a Tuesday. Unknown number. Normally, I don't answer those, but something told me to pick up. "Hey, it's me. It's Ava, my cousin, younger than me by 4 years. Quiet. Always stayed out of family drama. I hadn't talked to her since the wedding I didn't attend last spring. I hope this isn't crossing a line," she said quickly. I didn't know how bad things got. I didn't say anything. They told us you were ignoring everyone, that you were angry, depressed, that you didn't want to see people. I almost laughed. "No one showed up," I said. "No calls. No visits. They didn't even send a card." "I know," she said. "That's why I'm calling. I think it's messed up, and I'm sorry I didn't say anything sooner." There was an apology, a small one, quiet, unpolished, but it sounded real. "I remember Mom saying you were exaggerating," she added. "That you'd be fine. She said you always bounce back. Like that excused them ignoring you. That tracks. That's how they think. If I don't die, it wasn't serious. I just wanted you to know," Ava continued. "Not everyone in this family is pretending nothing happened. So what do you want?" She hesitated. "Nothing. Honestly, I've been watching from the sidelines, and I'm kind of tired of pretending they're not awful." That made me pause, because it didn't feel like a trap. It felt like someone else waking up. We talked for almost an hour. Nothing crazy, just honest. She said she always looked up to me, that I was the one who made her feel normal in a family full of narcissists. She told me my sister was livid about the no-contact letter, and Mom was embarrassed more than hurt. And then she said this: "They're scared, you know, not just about the money or babysitting or favors. They're scared because you were the one person who made this family seem functional. And now you're gone." That hit hard, because she wasn't wrong. I had been the glue. And when glue walks away, everything starts to fall apart. Before we hung up, Ava asked if she could come visit. No agenda, I promise. I told her I'd think about it, because I believed her. But I didn't trust the air around her yet. Not after everything. And if there's one thing I've learned from being forgotten, it's that not everyone who whispers, "I'm on your side," is willing to stand there when the shouting starts. She showed up Saturday morning. No text, no warning, just a knock. I opened the door, not wide, just enough to see her standing there holding a paper coffee cup and trying to smile like this was casual. "Please don't be mad," she said. I was nearby and I figured maybe it was better face to face. I didn't answer, just stepped aside. She took it as a yes. I let her sit at the kitchen table while I leaned on the counter, arms crossed. The coffee was lukewarm by the time she handed it to me. I didn't drink it. "I wasn't lying the other night," she started. "I really do think how they treated you was garbage. But, I've never seen them this worked up. It's like you flipped the power off on the whole house." I raised an eyebrow, because I stopped letting them use me. She nodded. "I think they're panicking. You were the only one they respected. Or feared. It's a weird mix." I sat down across from her. "So what do they want now?" "They want you back. Because they miss me. Or because they miss the version of me they could control." She looked down at her hands. Didn't answer. That was the answer. Then she slipped. "They've been saying if you don't come around soon, it'll make things harder for the holidays. Like family dynamics and who gets invited where. So this is still about appearances?" "No, I mean kinda. I don't know. Did they ask you to come here? Long pause. Not exactly. But they knew. My mom mentioned it wouldn't hurt if I checked in. But it was my choice to show up. There it was. She wasn't just checking in. She was scouting. Maybe not with bad intentions. But she was still playing their game, even if she thought she wasn't. I get that you're trying, I said. But you're still standing in both worlds. I don't want to pick sides. Then don't expect to be let all the way into mine. That shut her up. She looked like she wanted to argue, or cry, or both, but she didn't. She just stood up slowly. I really did miss you, Sarah. I believe you. So what now? Now you go. And if you ever want to come back, don't bring anyone else's voice with you. She nodded. No hug. No goodbye. Just the soft click of the door as it closed behind her. The letter came in the mail. Handwritten. No return address. My name in thick blue, ink across the envelope like they were trying to impress me with effort. I knew the handwriting before I even opened it. My mother. I stood over the trash can, tempted to rip it in half. But something told me to read it. Not because I cared, but because I wanted to see how far she'd go. It was 3 pages. Tight cursive. The kind she used when she wrote Christmas cards or filled out job applications for other people. It started soft. Of course. I don't know what happened to the sweet daughter I raised. Then it ramped up. You become cold. Ungrateful. You're embarrassing us. Us. That word again. As if my recovery had been a scandal. As if my boundaries were shameful. Then came the real purpose. We want you to come to Thanksgiving. I don't care what has to happen between now and then. You will show up. Or you'll regret it. That last line was underlined. Not we'd love to see you. Not please reconsider. You'll regret it. I dropped the letter on the table like it was toxic. Because it was. 10 minutes later, I was on the phone with my lawyer. He didn't ask questions. He just sighed and said, ready to escalate? Yep. We sent out an updated no-contact order. And this time, we included language for harassment and intimidation. I made copies. I emailed one to my mother with a note. Next time you try to threaten me, copy your lawyer too. You'll need them. Then I blocked her email. Later that week, my neighbor Rita knocked on my door. Your mother was outside your house this morning, she said. She sat in her car for 20 minutes. Didn't get out. Thanks for the heads up. Wanting to start calling the cops when I see her. Please. She nodded like it was the most natural request in the world. Because by now it was... That weekend, I bought a new lock. Not because I was scared. Because I was done. Done letting people stand on my porch thinking they could wear me down. Done pretending blood, excuses emotional trespassing. Done letting guilt win. I didn't go to Thanksgiving. Didn't explain why. Didn't send an excuse or apology. They sent photos in the group chat. Smiling faces, turkey, kids on the couch. I left it on read. No one followed up. Not one message asking, are you okay? Because they weren't worried. They were mad they couldn't control me with stuffing and fake smiles. January 3rd. First workday of the year. I had my coffee, my inbox full of junk, my noise-canceling headphones on, ready to dive into spreadsheets and pretend the holidays didn't exist. Then my coworker buzzed my desk. Hey, there's someone asking for you up front. Said their family. I froze. Ooh, didn't say. Older woman. Kinda intense. My stomach turned. I already knew. I walked out into the lobby, and there she was. My mother. Wearing her public face. That thin, strained smile like she was on a talk show. She stood when she saw me. There she is, she said loud enough for everyone to hear. Too busy to answer her own mother's calls. But not too busy to sit in this office pretending she's important. People turned. Receptionist looked confused. I stayed calm. You need to leave. Not until we talk. This is my job. Exactly. Maybe if I come where you can't ignore me, we'll finally get somewhere. You're trespassing. I'm your mother. That word again. As if it's a get-out-of-consequences-free card. I motioned to the security guard. She stepped forward. Ma'am, you need to leave. This is a family matter, my mom said, still with that fake smile. Then take it somewhere else. She's mentally unstable, my mother snapped. She needs help. The family just wants to bring her home. Oh, there it was. The she's crazy defense. Classic narcissist playbook. Make the one who set boundaries look unhinged. Security didn't buy it. You're leaving, or I'm calling the police. She stared at me one last time. The smile was gone now, replaced with something colder. You really think this makes you strong? Abandoning your family? No, I said. Surviving them did. She walked out. but not before turning to the lobby and muttering, loud enough, "She'll regret this when no one shows up at her funeral." Charming. Back at my desk, I filed an incident report, sent a copy to my lawyer. He filed for a restraining order the next day. I didn't cry, didn't shake. I finished my work, ordered lunch, went on with my life. Because hers, it was stuck in a cycle of control, manipulation, and public performance. And mine was finally moving forward. Even if I had to drag it through the mess she kept trying to pull me back into. It's been 14 months since the accident, 11 since the letters, 6 since the restraining order, 3 since I changed my number, and 1 since I moved into my own place, a real one. No roommates, no parents on the lease, no one who can knock without permission. My body still has scars. My shoulder aches when it rains. But my soul, finally quiet. I have a new routine, new friends. Hell, I even joined a kickboxing class. Not because I'm expecting a fight, but because now I know I'll finish one if it comes to me. The message came on a Thursday. Email. New address I didn't recognize. Subject line. No drama. Just words. I clicked. It was from my mom. No salutation. No signature. "You probably won't read this, but I had to try. I don't agree with how you've treated this family. I don't think it was fair. But I also know I wasn't fair either. I was scared. I handled it badly. I don't expect forgiveness. Just wanted you to know I think about you. That's all. No demand. No guilt bomb. No threat. Just that." And for the first time, I didn't feel anger. I didn't feel sorry for her either. I just felt done. I didn't reply. Not out of spite, but because some chapters don't need an epilogue. I didn't need a reunion. Didn't need her validation. I had already reclaimed every piece of myself she tried to own. That weekend, Ava texted, "Just checking in. Want to grab coffee?" I said yes. Because she asked. Because she never showed up screaming in my lobby. Because she respected the silence I needed. We met at a little cafe on the edge of town. She didn't bring any updates, gossip, or emotional hand grenades. Just herself. And 2 muffins. "You look good," she said. "I feel good. Like really good." "I know." We laughed. Here's the truth, Reddit. People say family is forever. But I've learned that forever can be a cage if you never check the lock. I was never crazy, never dramatic, never cruel. I was just done bleeding for people who never brought bandages. And now I'm not waiting for anyone to clap for me. Because I know damn well, getting up on your own is the loudest kind of applause there is. See you later.